Welcome back at exactly 23 minutes to the top of the hour. Time for us to embark on our last conversation this Thursday morning, still on matters entertainment. As we said, Thursday is the new Friday, so obviously matters to do with entertainment dominate our conversations this morning. And my guest ako hapa, Kenny M.
Hey.
Mambo?
Wasana.
Hey, hi.
Yeah.
All right, before we get to the music, let's start with your name. Unajua kila msanii anakuanga na jina yake ya usanii.
Yeah, sure.
Na mimi niko sure Kenny M is not like your real names. These are your art names.
Yeah, sure.
So what do they signify? What is the importance of those names? How did you come up with the Kenny M?
First of all, hey, good morning everyone. My name is
audible. Wasanii wako na sauti na finya sauti kwa nini?
My name is Kennedy Minor.
Yeah,
that's
like
my
that.
real name. Yeah, Kennedy Minor. Yeah, Kenyan born singer based in Nairobi. But from Nyandarua County. Yeah, Kenny M is just my stage name, and it's a name yenye umezoea kuitwa na mabeshte zako like Kenny. So M is minor. Yeah, that's basically it.
So when you started doing music professionally, it just made sense to go with Kenya watu wamezoea kukuita.
Yeah, sure.
All right. You say that you're based in Nairobi.
Yeah, in Nairobi.
But grew up in Nyandarua. How was life growing up?
Basically, it was just normal like everybody else. School, just like a normal kid. Kenda shule Nyandarua High School. Nyandarua High School. Na after that, nikasoma nkenda Maseno University. Yeah, and then graduated last year. And then life brought me to Nairobi kutafuta pesa.
So kuna degree?
Yeah, I mean got a degree.
You know, we've been really seeing a lot of craze on qualifications and papers. And again, pia unajua wanasemanga wasanii wengi hawana makaratasi. You know, they're just into art. So you're here to actually say that usanii, people that are in art and doing music, people that have actually gone to school.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, quite interesting. So you started doing music, was it about 4 months ago?
Yeah, actually my first ever recorded music nilianza releasiwa on February 6. Yeah, so it's basically like 4 months ago.
Yeah. It's actually exactly, you know, I was counting. It's actually exactly 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's 4 months, yeah.
Before this time, had you thought of doing music? Was music part of what you ever wanted to do?
Yeah, okay, mimi nilikuwa natamani kufanya music, but my greatest fear was hiyo kuanza, starting. I guess that was the greatest fear I had to conquer, ndio nianze ku record music. But before then, I used to sing, maybe in church, in school. Yeah, but professionally, ndio nimesema nimeanza like 4 months ago. And yeah, I've always wanted to get into the music industry, but sasa pengine nilikuwa nimekosa directions, the right person akuni guide. Yeah, there's such kind of thing ndio ilikuwa imenifanya ni tulia kiasi. Yeah.
Why was this a fear for you? I mean, one would say if you're talented, kama uko na talent, uko na talent. If you have it in you, you have it in you. So why was this a fear to you? I've not really had by there quite a number of artists that I've also interacted with. I've not really had them say that one of the things that were inhibiting for me ilikuwa fear. Most of them ni akuko na pesa, kuna do. But for you, why was it? Why did you fear to get into the space of music? Okay, personally, umesema mambo ya pesa, si ati bado kulikuwa na do something. Bado pesa ilikuwa an issue, but I guess for me the biggest issue ilikuwa self-confidence. Okay.
I really lacked that, and growing up, pengine grow up na issues of self-esteem and such kind of things. So it took me a while. Ndio maana nilitake time before nianze kurecord. Unajua sasa ukianza kurecord, you'll be in the limelight. Saa watu wanaanza like kufuatilia maisha yako and stuff. Such kind of things. Yeah.
And you're not ready for that?
By then I was not, but right now I can say I'm okay and I'm still adapting. Yeah.
Kenny, can we interrogate that just a bit on the self-confidence bit? Because, you know, we're living, as we keep saying, we're living in a patriarchal society. There are some things you wouldn't hear men say. Ati sikukuwa na self-confidence. Sasa wewe unakosaje self-confidence? You know, there were things that you wouldn't really hear men talk about. But I mean, it's just, I would applaud you to say that, for you to say that this was what I was struggling with. I didn't feel sort of like secure enough, confident enough. And maybe if we just interrogate that a bit, was this as a result of your upbringing? You know, what exactly was it that made you know to feel as confident as a person?
Well, partly naweza sema it's maybe because of their upbringing and maybe family background, kitu kama hiyo. I've been brought up by a single mom. Shout out to my beautiful mom. Yeah, she has been my greatest support, but still kuna venye I don't know, una feel to hauna hiyo confidence. I really can't say ni sana sana mambo ya upbringing or something, because in as much as nilikuwa nimekosa hiyo self-confidence, I still got an opportunity to be in so many things, maybe ka leadership ya shule, have a lot of friends, but deep down, I would say ni kitu tu ilikuwa tu inbuilt or something, and overcoming that was, I feel, was my greatest achievement.
So in a way, did you ever felt like you wanted, you know, so to speak, the father figure in your life?
Well, kind of.
At some point, you really wanted. So it's equally as important.
Yeah, sure.
And for majority of men, it's as important.
Actually, it is.
I know we are deviating a bit from the conversation, but I mean, just to build context on where you are and what you do. What is the importance of that?
You know, having a father,
especially for a man,
having a father figure, at least anakupatianga directions and what your mom can't tell, can't haezi kuambia, like haezi kuonyesha. In as much as my mom ali play the roles of both the dad and the mom, I still feel having a father figure inasaidia. Unajua pia ka boy child nafaa kujua wenye nafaa grow, behave and stuff. But I have my big bro. My big bro was very instrumental in my life kunisaidia ku develop that,
the confidence,
the confidence and stuff. Yeah, but I feel a father figure is very much important for any boy child.
So you're saying it's important. Let's not shy away from the fact that, you know, circumstances have got us to this point, but it's equally as important.
Yeah, sure it is.
And not just for the men, even just for the girls.
Yeah, even for the ladies.
Yes, you understand that in life things happen and there's some things you don't have control over, but at the end of the day we can also be alive to the fact that it's just as important.
Yeah, sure.
As is. So unasema big bro pia alikusaidia ku build it up, the confidence at the end of the day before one's muziki. Which other ways did you employ to just build up? Because again, the space that you're in, limelight is not as easy, an easy thing. So you need to have kama ni confidence ya watu kama wakumi kwa mtu mmoja to just survive in this kind of space. Which other things did you employ just to build on that before you began your music journey?
Oh, there are a number of factors. But the greatest motivation actually this year nilifanya niingie kwa music industry was my mom.
So again, she was very instrumental.
She was very much. She's a very important woman, Banze. Yeah. And so nilikuwa nimeupload TikTok video, nilikuwa nimepost on my WhatsApp status, and then she happened to see it, and then she called me. Kaniambia, hey Ken, nimeona ukiimba unaimba poa. And so I was like, if this is done professionally, I think that goes without saying. I have my number one fan. That's my mom. And then I'm surrounded by very good friends. I have a good friend called Mike, and nimse anakusaidia like anakuambia this is what you're supposed to do, anakuambia hapa ndio unafaa kufanya hivi na hivi, hapa you're not supposed to do this. And he was also very much instrumental kwa kunisaidia kuingia kwa music. Also, the moment I uploaded my first video, the response that I got from my friends, from my fans, ndio ilini keep moving, ilini push to do more and more. Yeah.
Which one was this first video?
It's a Kikuyu song I sang. It's a hymn. I've been brought up in a church yenye tunaimbanga hymns sana. So it's a Kikuyu hymn inaitwa Kabiro, and yeah, that's the song.
And that was your first song.
That was my first song.
What did you feel the need to sing in your local dialect?
First, I'm really proud of my local dialect. That is one thing. And I think I made a promise to myself and to God that the moment I interpret your confidence ya kuanza kuimba, I really loved that song since my childhood days. So I think I had already made up my mind that the moment I start singing professionally, that would be the first song I would ever record, even before going to other, like maybe singing Swahili or English. Yeah.
Do you think that it has actually come to a time where, when you look at particularly local artists, they are sort of moving to singing in their local dialects, in their own local languages, because utapata mtu ameimba nyimbo na Kiswahili nyimbo kadhaa, but then if he or she's a Luo, to throw in some Luo song or a Luya song or a Kikuyu song. What does this mean when it comes to the music space? Is it just appreciating where you're coming from, or are we getting to a space whereby we are looking into also appreciating our culture?
Yeah, I think it's more of appreciating our cultures and feeling confident and proud of where you're from. So that's why most of the artists wanapata the need ya to get back to their local dialect. Yeah.
So then, ukiangalia the music space na wasanii, is it something, I mean, from in your own analysis and in your own perspective, do you think that inafaa ikuwe kitu kila msanii anafaa kwa ki-embrace, just at least at one point sing a song from where you've come from?
Well, I think that would be a personal matter.
That depends.
That depends. Kuna mtu feel comfortable sana kusing both, na kuna mtu feel comfortable to specialize in maybe Swahili, na mwingine specialize in English. Yeah, pia imanishi ati pengine apendi their culture or something, but I think that is more of a personal matter. But I feel it's good to also feel proud of where you're from and at least throw one or two. Yeah. If
need be, throw one or two.
Yeah, one or two. So
okay, are we going to see you perhaps again sing another song in Kikuyu? Am I saying now that you embarked on English, is just English all through?
Not really. I actually want to specialize more in Swahili and Kikuyu. Yeah.
Kizungu?
My friend, Kizungu.
Kidogo ni tricky.
Kidogo ni, sisi watu wa Nyandarua. Sisemi wa Kikuyu hatujui Kizungu, but we good also. There are people who do very well in Kikuyu. Okay. But I mean English. But personally, I think I would love to specialize more in Swahili and English. Though pia English, I mean Kikuyu. But pia English ikikam, I'll still go with it. Yeah.
Why? What informed that for you to decide that you want to do that? Because also your latest song, Nona, even actually your second one still, umeimbana Swahili. What informed you to just decide I want to particularly specialize in Swahili and Kikuyu?
One, I feel very much confident nikiimba Swahili and Kikuyu. And two, I think I have a wider audience nikiimba Swahili. And still I would also feel I want to connect with the culture, you know. Most of us young guys tunataka specialize more in, most of sisi vijana tunataka kufanya Swahili, Kizungu. Most of us tuna deviate away from the culture. So I feel it would be a good place for me to grow my fan base and stuff, and maybe pass out the message that I want to pass to even people.
Well said. Now, we may throw in a bit of audience, largely also what informs why you're choosing to sing with these two languages. And I mean, I'd like to pick your mind on the significance of audience, particularly kwa wasanii. Does the audience influence the kind of content you create, the kind of music you write, the kind of language you use? Like, what exactly is the importance of an audience for an artist or to an artist?
An audience ndio wanafanya grow kama msanii. They are the ones who will make you ujulikane pia. Because for instance, me, the first time I did the Kikuyu song, I received a lot of feedbacks from people like, please do a Swahili song, because hata sisi we are your fans and we want to even hear the message, you know. So for me, the audience is very much important because they are the ones who make you grow, they are the ones who make you known. Yeah, and it's good to know, music is an art. It's good for you to know how you're going to appease them, how you're going to attract more of them. Ndio hata ugrow kama msanii, and pengine the message that you intend to pass, you pass it to them in the way they love. Actually, your audience, most, like, let's say 60% of it wanna determine much of your content even more than you yourself. Yeah.
And it's good to listen to the audience. That's what you say.
That is very much important. Unaona kwanza kama hizi comments zenye watu wanapeananga, the feedback, it's very much important. It's good to interact with people everywhere. It's good to interact and get to know what they want. Yeah, because one day wanasikiza music, one day utadetermine kama music yako ita grow something. So it's very much important to listen to the audience.
Okay, I hear you. But on the flip, let's imagine that you being a gospel artist because you are one, but audience yenye inakusikia sofa inakwambia tunataka uimbe something contemporary. You know, not necessarily gospel, not necessarily secular, like, you know, your latest song, Say No to Violence, more of a patriotic kind of song. So akikwambia sasa, since you released that song, and now this is what we feel you should be singing, but you feel in your spirit, within your conviction, I am a gospel artist. I just sang this because you're in this period, I want to spread peace and all of that. At this point, kama msanii, what do you do? Because I ask that because you find quite a good number of artists, they're torn in between. Unapata mtu alianza kimba gospel, then they just throw in a love song and the audience feels like, sasa hii ndio line yako. And they lose it completely.
Okay, I think it's good first to stick to your lane. First stick to what you feel is your calling. But at the same time, you know, even as Christians and people who believe in God, we do not shy away from the things that happen around us, you know. So haimaanishi that just because I'm a Christian, I really can't sing about peace, I really can't sing about what's happening in our country, provided it doesn't deviate from the morals and from the stand. You know, there are those virtues as a Christian that I uphold, provided they do not deviate from that. You know, the moment I praise about peace, it's also something within the Christian context, because, you know, peace, God is peace, Mungu anapenda mambo ya amani and stuff, the Prince of Peace and stuff. So provided it doesn't deviate from my virtues as a Christian, my moral stand as a Christian, I think it's okay for you to sing. Yeah, so bora mtu stick to their conviction and stuff. It's also good to listen to what people will tell you. Yeah, because I'm not haja that you stick to your conviction alone, as in ukua ile mind yako it's so rigid, hawezi change, unaona. And you know, people will not accept that, na utaishi kustagnate, you'll live to as in kutamak tu. But pengine ukikam hapa hivi una throw something contemporary, hapa hivi unakuja unarudi kanisa, unaambia watu about gospel and stuff. I think as an artist you should be all round. Yeah.
But don't you think that in a sense would make you look like someone who does not have focus? Come on, throw in here and there just because the audience is singing. I mean, how do you strike this balance, Ken?
I mean, your people will understand you. That is one thing.
Sure they will?
Yeah, they will. And you see, for instance, the moment I sang about Say No to Violence, it resonated with people because this is something inatuhusu sisi kama Kenya during this election period, you see. And it doesn't show that hauna focus, surely, because it shows that you are creative. You have allowed your mind to be creative, you know, and you have allowed your mind to see, like with the third eye, you want what's happening around you, no. So your audience will understand you. Your audience will appreciate you for that, no. Yeah. So the only point anye nimesema, like, lose your moral stand and your virtue, like for instance mtu kama mimi, like mwenye nimestand kama gospel artist, nikianza kuimba sasa like love songs and then unajua kuna zile love songs siwezi sema ni mbaya, kuna zile songs, you know, like ziko na some, you know, like
they don't have that moral stand that you're talking
actually
about.
that is what it's so juggle between uko sasa kwa hivyo ndio unaonekana una focus. But provided it's something that is still within your moral stand, your virtues, I don't think that shows you don't have focus in what you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So more or less like understand your purpose, your calling, what it is you want to do, and if you stand for something, then let nothing move you from what you stand for.
Absolutely.
If it's, you know, certain kind of morals that you uphold, then let it inform also the kind of content that you create. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure.
All right. We were just playing that song there. That is the Saying No to Violence. Yes, you've alluded a bit to the election beat and all that, and this is actually your latest song. But how did it come about?
Okay. It was an idea that came in a funny way. We were just somewhere with my friends, and then tulikuwa na like a competition, like tuonyeshe your favorite songs zenye unaweza imba, like, you know. And so the original idea of the song, it was from a South African song inaitwa Soweto, yenye nasemanga say no to apartheid. Naona. So one of my friends suggested it, and so I listened, like, the song says say no to apartheid. So I nikafikiria tu, whatever I place it in a Kenyan context, because we are around this election period, can it work? And then the following day there was a campaign trail around where I live, and kulikuwa na mayouths walikuwa wamekam, like, you know, wao wanafuatanga hizi caravans the campaign. And then sorry to say that walikuwa naenda like wakisumbua watu wenye kwa njia, like, you know, like sumbua those people wenye wanafanya business, like kuwapora and stuff. So nilikuwa nimetoka tu hivi nje kidogo, and then I met people wakisema venye watu wameporwa, venye watu so I really felt, I think if I use this idea and maybe perhaps address the youths, because sisi ndio tunakuanga most of the time ndio victims wa kutumiwa cause violence, I think it would help in as much as it would reach maybe not that wide audience that maybe country or stuff, but the people when you watapata your message would be very much instrumental to at least helping to maintain some kind of sanity around where they live. Yeah, so it's a message, actually it's like a campaign, it was hashtags say no to violence, hashtag spread the love. Yeah, it's a song that mostly addresses the youths, kuambia, because you guys sisi ndio tunatumia vibaya na the politicians and stuff, but this time tunaweza sema no, we can be youths with a difference. Tunaweza sema like, I know you won't agree, just the fact that tunapatiwa pesa kidogo and stuff, hatutakubali kutumiwa. We'll just go and vote, go back home, whoever wins, we are okay, and life moves on.
And life moves on.
Exactly.
I mean, there will be life after August.
Yeah, there will be life.
Will be sort of back to
exactly,
normal.
Yeah.
Why, in your perspective, I mean, just from what you're explaining, clearly it shows that ulukomeshukwa with what was, you were touched. That was direct translation. You're really touched with what was happening around your area at that time, and just looking at how youths and young people are being used. And I can tell you for sure that's not the only area. Right now we are hearing a lot of cases whereby young people are being used in not the correct way.
Yeah, sure.
And the questions emerging is that why are young people so vulnerable?
I think one thing that most of us youths don't understand is that most of our politicians are not there for, most of them are there for their own personal interests, you see. So they will do whatever it takes for them to get maybe into power and stuff, and then after Apple, they'll actually forget about us. So right now the politicians are here with us kwa ground, wakituambia venye watakuwa na 60 and stuff, and wengine wanatupatiana do and stuff, but after hapo when a youth atakuwa na issue, atakuwa nahitaji maybe kufollow a certain protocol ndio ku reach out to these politicians. It's very rare and it's very hard to find a politician mwenye alikuwa amepromise youth something during the campaign period akirudi kufulfill that. So most of us are vulnerable because we don't have that understanding. I don't really want to use this word that they don't care about us, because actually there are genuine politicians who really care about people, but a bigger percentage of them is that most of them are there for their own interests, for their own personal gains. So the moment in sisi mayouths to understand evil, that's when we'll come to realize that the fight is not against our neighbors. Our fight is not against when you're tunaishi now. The fight is against poverty. It's against injustices that are in our country. So if at all we are going to see our neighbors as people, most of us, of course, will have a different opinion from what I have, either politically or something. It's called the beauty of diversity. Yes. We'll never have equal opinions. So, but this is the time when sisi kama youth tunafaa kufika tunasema that, hey, I know you have different opinion about this, but that doesn't make me see you less of a human. That doesn't make me see you like a different person. You're still the same person I'll need after the elections. So hamna haja like I insult you, maybe I hurt you physically, because vitu zingine hatuwezi like rewind. If you physically hurt someone, or you will not rewind that. So the moment in sisi kama youths tutaelewa that most of our politicians are there for their personal interests, and most of them most of them, I use the word most of them, don't really care about us, that's when hatutakubali kuwa vulnerable to the incitations and kutumiwa kama youths vibaya.
Well said, well said. And I really like what you've said, that the fight is not against you and I.
Exactly.
The fight is against the issues that you're facing as a country. Right now we're talking about the high cost of living. So the fight is against that.
Yeah.
The fight is against corruption, social injustice, and the various issues. But then again, how then can young people, I mean, just surrounding, still sticking with the song, your recent song, Say No to Violence, so then how can youths be that avenue for change? What then can they do? Because tumesikia conversations about youth can do this, youth can do that, they need to be given platforms, they need to be given the spaces. But even just looking at where we are right now in the election season, the election period, then what can they do to be the change that needs to be brought forth?
Personally, I believe you don't really need that platform, like maybe kama an audience, like an audience yenye you need to talk to person or something. You see where you are, that's enough platform. It starts with where you are. Nona. So the moment yenye mimi nitaonyesha like I can live well with you, this will be reciprocated to another person. Nona. It's like that concept here, you help one, then this one helps another. These two help, waende hivyo wakisaidiana. Eventually we'll come to create a society yenye we'll live peacefully, we'll coexist vizuri tukiwa sisi wote, unaona. So as a youth, where you are, that's where you begin, unaona. The moment una realize that this is my friend, this is my neighbor, mwenye a point kifika that I'll be in need, wewe ndio nitakujia. Let's say for instance usiku and pengine you are sick or something, you'll not go calling your politicians at hey I'm sick or something. It's your neighbor utaenda hapo hivyo ndio wataanza kuita nini seek medical help for you, unaona. So in a scenario pengine umekosana na wewe msee, then you will live to suffer alone, unaona. So you don't really need that large audience ati ndio you speak out. Where you are, begin where you are, unaona. Something else, we live in a digital era where social media and stuff inaweza kusaidia ku access. You see, seated at the comfort of my home, I have access to around 3,000 people on my Facebook account, unaona. So if I start like writing messages that will be there to tell people that we are not supposed to do this and this, and we're supposed to avoid these, I'll have reached out to quite a good number. Of course, when you watapitia your posts, unaona. That's enough platform. So come to think of it, ukienda kuanza throw insults that unaanza ku bring about some things zenye zinaweza cause indifferences between us, that will also be another audience zinaweza cause chaos. So the point is, youths, we start where we are, use what we have, social media, especially this era, kila mtu ako kwa social media, to pass the message of love, to pass the message of peace during this election, na tukumbuke we have a life even to live after the elections. Yeah.
Just hold it there, because you're not done with that conversation surrounding the young people. We'll explore it a bit, but I want us to take a very quick breather. When we return back, we still continue our conversation with my guest on set, Ken, so stay put. Just listening to that is his latest song, Say No to Violence. In fact, that is what you were interrogating before we went on that break. And Kenny, before we went, we're just saying how it is important to keep peace.
Sure.
I mean, looking at the images even on that song, clearly it shows wakati hakuna amani, mimi na wewe tunaumia.
Sure.
And before you went, you're saying how, you know, how youths can be able to just be that avenue of change. And you said something very important, which is I was even telling you when you're on break that I haven't really quite had people say that, because right now the conversation is that we want to be on the table. As young people we are saying that unaona kwa hiyo decision making table, hata mimi nataka kukuwa pale. But you're saying it's not that important. You can be that change from where you are.
Exactly.
I mean, how important is it just for a young person to understand that you don't necessarily need to be there, so to speak, much as you can be, but you can be the change that you can bring from the point that you are. When you make it here, you can be that change.
Yeah, so the point is, having a seat at the table is also very important.
Yeah.
No. But this is Kenya. How long will we get? How long will it take for us as the youths to get to that table, and for us to get that voice, to create the change in the society? You know, being on the decision table is not that much effective than the person mwenye ako kwa ground. Usikie concept ya the ground ni different, mambo ya ground ni tofauti. Yeah, because we atakuwa pa hivi and will be part of the decisions, make policies that we are supposed to do this and this, but the people who were in action ni watu wenye wako kwa ground. So in as much as we want to make decisions, but you really haven't influenced these people in the ground kuambia that this is what you're supposed to do and this is not what you're not supposed to do, then that will be in vain. So for me, I believe mahali tuko, we can be the agents of change from where we are. Yeah, we don't really need to be on. It's good to have. Point is, ni vizuri kukua kwa the decision table, and when things the youths zinaongelelewa, it's good to have a youth representative pale. But the real work, kazi yote iko hivi kwa ground. So if at all we start focusing more na watu wenye kwa ground to influence, then it will be like tutakuwa like like the forces, to join the forces now watu wenye kwa the table plus kwa ground, then the results will be good.
The results will be good. And you say that we can be those or that agent of change. Does that also include, or does that also begin with the voting? I mean, like you said, we are in this election season right now, so clearly also quite a number of conversations will be surrounding that. But does that also include or involve that aspect of me as a young person going out there, ensuring I exercise my democratic right of voting? Does that also begin there? Yeah, sure. Why I ask that is because right now, as in, we have really experienced voter apathy, particularly amongst the youth. We say that, and statistics show even in Kenya, that we form the largest of the demographic. Right now, the recent report released by IBC indicates that only 38.94% of the youths are the registered voters. This actually comprises of 8.4 million out of the possible 22.1 that are now registered and cleared and eligible to vote. It's a very it's such a small amount compared to the larger amount of those that are cleared to vote. Yet you're saying that we can be those agents of change. Anataki kupiga kura?
No, it's good for the youths because sisi ndio tunakuanga watu wa kwanza kulalamika wakati
all the time. Kwanza pale kwa socials.
Exactly. Especially on social media, wakati a certain your preferred candidate haja ingia, you know. But if at all we begin with these small steps, you know, these small steps and there was in add up, zina form a big force. So if we start by taking that action of going to vote, at least tutakuwa tumeonyesha that as a youths we are able to exercise our democratic right, and we are also able to raise our voice against something to elect a certain leader whom we think anaweza kuwa an agent of change. So yeah, voting is very, very much important. As youths, by the time to vote,
Now, kuna pia your campaign message, even with the hoodie that you're wearing. What's the message behind there?
Okay, the hoodie I have imeandikwa #spread the love. It's a unabeba hiyo campaign that show some love to your neighbor. Love, it doesn't really have to be that ati lazima nikuje nikupatie kitu ndio nikuonyeshe na kupenda. It can begin with relating with them properly, talking to them well. Like, I don't really need to insult you. I really don't need to kutenga maybe from a certain group because we una support a certain person na sisi tuna support wengine. But wait, it's good to define opinions, but our opinions should not define who we are. It's good to support these candidates and the other person support this candidate because, just like I said, diversity is very much important, and it's the beauty of it makes us whole. But let these opinions not define us. Is to define who we are or what we are. We are still humans. If we at all we are going to to embrace love and enhance humanity amongst ourselves, I think Kenya would be better, and we wouldn't even go back to whatever we experienced in history. Like now, unaweza compare like Kenya, like you see like a car has that, the windscreen and the rear mirror. The rear mirror inakuonyesha what is behind, but the windscreen inakuonyesha what is ahead. Nona. So let us use this to look at our history as a lesson. Nona. Whatever happened in 2017, 2013, 2007, and the other years, let us use that as a lesson to focus on what is ahead of us. Nona. So I think as youths, sisi ndio tuko na the voice. So twende to vote, and after vote, mtu arudi kwa nyumba and wait for the results peacefully. Kuna mwanasiasa alisema hizi siasa tusiweke kwa roho jamani. Unaona? So
it's a passing cloud.
It's a passing cloud.
And you know, they keep saying, even in debates, even when you see them on TV, they keep saying, tutaka hapa tunabishana from this camp, but after the show is done, you go and take tea. So of what benefit is it for you and I to start you know, just arguing, get to violence because of politician X and Y? It doesn't make sense at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So that's why you have this. You say that the tag is what?
Hashtag spread the love. Spread the love.
And you know, even the other time, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we had Paddy, who also is doing a peace campaign. And this informs my next question, whereby we've also seen not so many, but at least a good number of artists really getting into this point whereby if they're in the campaign trails or even in social media, they're sort of like using their voice and these platforms to be those agents of change, as you're saying. So what kind of influence does art and music or even artists have when it comes to the political direction or, you know, spaces of leadership or, you know, how people think during this kind of season?
Art has a very great impact in our society, because actually almost 60% of what we have in our country, in our lives, is all about art. We have music.
Well, that's what we don't know.
That is what we don't know. So if this person uses his voice, and you know, we might not have that much of a voice at unaweza ongea and your message is passed across the country, but you can at least have a voice and reach out to 100 people. Out of these 100, maybe 20 wasikiza the message now wa consider, you know. Then the other person, like artists ni wengi. There are very many artists in the country. So if at all we are going to use the little voice that we have to influence at least maybe even say 5 people, we can make a lot of difference, because art has a very great impact in our society, and people embrace art in a... Kuna watu wanafanya music, kuna wenye wako kwa comedy, kuna watu wako... As in watu wako too all round. I have a person I really admire how he does his things. Njugosh uses his comedy to pass across maybe some kind of things that are happening in our country. Exactly. At first, like it's something not realistic, but that message reaches out to at least maybe 5 or 10 people when you wanna consider. So if me as an artist, is me as a musician, I also use my voice. If there's small audience that I have, I reach out to other 5 people. Kidogo, by the time tunafika elections, the results are out, will have made a very big impact, even now and even in the future. Exactly.
And that's what we want. That's the Kenya that we want. A Kenya that's peaceful. I mean, you hear people say that in other countries, particularly even in the first world countries and in the US, time elections, there's not even holiday. You know, right now, like the way we're saying is that children have to break a bit because we have to vote, because things are developed, things are grown there. So it's because also, again, they've reached a point whereby elections is like any other normal day.
Exactly.
Either you vote electronically or it's physically, you go there, do your thing, and you go home. Or you don't see that in African countries. You don't see that particularly in Kenya. And again, well, because youths are normally used as agents of either spreading the violence. That's why we are saying that now that needs to change, and they now need to be used as agents of spreading the peace.
Absolutely.
So that makes a lot of sense in that respect. All right, now coming back to your other side of music, because this was basically like the contemporary side of it. Now the gospel. This is your second song, Unaweza. Talk to us a bit about that one.
Unaweza was a song that came to me during one of my lowest moments of life. Like I was confused. Actually, let me just say that word. I was confused about life, what I'm supposed to do. I finished school. I need to, you know, you have your own goals, you have your own kukua within a certain time, unaona. So at the beginning of the year tulikuwa na very much hopes that maybe this year will be different and stuff, but life ikiendelea hivi alafu unaona pengine whatever you had planned isn't working out, you really feel crushed, unaona. So this is a song ilinikuja. I was actually just seated on the rooftop of where I stay, and then I was just overlooking at night, and then the song just came to me, and then it's a rendition of an old song ile unaweza, so plus some few compositions zangu, and basically it was a song that was just singing my heart out and just addressing God, telling him that you are able to take control of my life, you're able to change my life and maybe help me attain what I have planned to attain by the end of the year.
So then, would you say that, you know, your compositions, like the songs that you've already released, or even those that you're planning to release, is it that the environment or what you're currently going through? Because when you look at Say No to Violence, basically it was an idea, and then the environment was like, hey, by the way, it's time, you know, to release this kind of song. When you look at Unaweza, it was basically what you're going through. So what really informs the kind of content you create?
So far I would say, based on majorly on the two songs and the release, they are influenced by what is around me, what I face. And it's because I want to speak to somebody else who might be in my position but hana your voice, ama hana your position ya kuji-express. So like a person who was like in my situation, like life imembit, ameshindwa ku move on. You know, sai tuko na issue kwanza kasa hii unga nasikia it's very manze. Hey, so
inaandika inapandanga daily.
You say so na kuna mtu of course pengine hana job and stuff, and pengine mtu ana lose hope. So na mtu anasikiza hii song and they were just telling God that God, I know naweza at least mtu anapata hope and the strength ya kuendelea na life na kupambana na zile struggles zenye amepata kwa maisha yake.
I mean, when you assess the kind of life currently right now, particularly amongst the young people, or even just Kenyans as a whole, do you think that we are really hopeless? Is it time that we need now to start by force, by fire, just be hopeful? Because things
not
are
really.
big.
I wouldn't say we are hopeless. Hopeless is it's a huge word.
It's a heavy word.
It's a heavy word,
Okay.
hopeless, yeah. I think most of us are just lost. Most of us lack direction. Most of us lack a person to guide. And that's why, you know, it's normal. It shows you're human that unaweza kaa chini mahali and you think about your life and whatever is happening to you, you have tried, imeshindwa, so you find another way ya restructure your life and live in another way. So I wouldn't say that we are hopeless. I would just say we just lack direction. We just lack the right hand to guide us and stuff.
I mean, I feel or I think that this largely happens to quite a lot of us young people. We lack direction. Again, just going back to our earlier conversation, this is again why we are being used as agents of violence, because if we really had a proper sense of direction, nothing can move me sort of from that. So in your perspective, and again also when you look at a good number of these songs, they are sort of geared towards giving us hope, building our lives, making us feel like there's always light at the end of the tunnel. There's always life after the difficult circumstances. So then, why do you think good number of us young people really lack that sense of direction? Is it that we don't really know our purpose? Is it that we don't have proper mentors? Ama tu pia hataki kuambiwa. Tunakanika tunajua.
Well, all those factors nazasema maybe zina contribute, but I think for me personally, in as much as pengine watu tuko na kiburi and stuff, since you know the generations ndio tunajua
sana by the
stuff. I still think if we have the right people wenye wamepitia the same life na sisi and they would guide us, I think hakuna mtu hata akue kichwa ngumu aje anaweza kosa kusikia. Naona? Yeah, so I think we just lack the right mentorship, the right people to lead us, the right people to guide us. That's why most of us would say are hopeless. Most of us are lose hope na maisha and stuff. Yeah. but pia sisi tuko na kiburi and stuff. Okay, siwezi na get your fact ati pia sisi mayouths pia tuko na kiburi. You know, like nyinyi mnatuambia nini, si tunajua, unaona.
Niko na idea, unajua. Mimi ni msanii, niko very talented. And good number of artists again always stick on that.
Yeah, but I still feel sometimes ni vizuri hata unaona hata wasanii wenye like wameenda ahead of us and stuff. It's good like wana take time kusikiza hao wenye wanajaribu wanakama unaona. Personally tangu mimi nianze music, I've seen so many people wenye pengine nimeshare my link with them and they are like, wow, that's a good song, keep going. In as much as pengine yeye atakwambia kama nikupatie platform or something, just that word, yeah, you're doing good, that is good, keep up. Hata mimi mwenyewe kama msanii nitaona at least my work inaweza kuwa na influence, unapata hiyo nini ya kuendelea. So sisi wasanii wenye I mean the artists wenye wamego ahead of us wako successful, it's good pia mnajaribu kushikilia watu, try to encourage them, try to tell them this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to, ndio tusipia tusinagate sana na morals of the society and stuff. Ndio tusi classify as that generation yenye sisi hatuwezi ambiwa kitu.
But Kenny, vile unasema wale wenye wameenda huko mbele wakuje offer guidance and all that, I can actually tell you for sure that also those that have gone ahead, you know, the veterans are now saying that particularly when you come to this crop of gospel artists wa saizi, or wale wasanii ambao wanachipuka, particularly when it comes to gospel, they are saying that, you know, wasanii wa saizi, they are really focusing so much on making the money. Compared to music as how it was then, where it was all about messaging. You just want to pass the message, you want to change lives. Right now, I just want to make money. Is that a factor?
Well, that's still a factor because honestly, sisi kama mayouths wenye tunapitia hardships in life, and of course, you know, there's something that you can do, kitu unaweza fanya and like passionately, and you can do it well, like let's say music, creativity and stuff. With the kind of things that are happening right now, I'll tell you for a fact, maybe I'll do something for me nijaribu like kuomoka, unaona.
You're factually true.
Yeah, it's true. I wouldn't say it's bad, unaona. But still at the same time, I don't know, in as much as pengine watu wanaimba maybe for the money or something, we should not forget that, for instance, for a gospel artist, even the message of God is still passed on. Unaona, like nikikuja hapa hivi niimbe na pengine mimi natamani kuhit, nipate do, nipate ma gigs and stuff. Bado kwa hii song yako kuna mtu atasikiza na apate the message of God. Unaona? So we are not supposed to ignore all that fact. Unaona? So kikam and you give this person the right direction. Of course pia tunaimba, it's our talent. God alituambia tutumie talent for us to tukae vizuri. At pia Mungu hawezi tupatia talent ndio to struggle. Yeah, exactly. So
but how do you draw the line? Because, you know, when it comes to gospel, and you see that's why for a good number of musicians, wale wa gospel, utasikia wengine wanasema, mimi I'm not a gospel artist. They will say, I'm a gospel minister. And how they describe this is that, Mimi, I'm just out here to pass the message, to touch lives, to heal souls. If money comes, cool. If it doesn't, it's fine. But again, you see that you're cringing, like, how is that possible? You know, they would say that. But again, there's another side that would say, at the end of the day, by what I'm doing has to be followed by money. Like, there has to be something that shows. So particularly when it comes to gospel, given you're a gospel artist, how do you draw the line? Because at the end of the day, the mandate is you need to really be touching and what is it called? Bringing souls to Christ. So how do you draw this line?
You see this, watu the gospel artists, the gospel ministers, when you see tunasemanga that tunataka kupass the message of God, pesa ikuje isikuje, deep down there is just like kusema tu, unaona, just like maybe to cover up, I'm a gospel minister, ndio waonekane like I have my standing this. But deep down, mtu kama huyo hata, like for instance, mtu kama huyo hata akienda gig ama ameitoa certain kesha, apatiwe do like an appreciation, utapata mtu hata kosa kuchukua, unaona, cause eventually, even though tunatamani like preach the word of God, to make God known to people, we'll still need a motivation ndio hata sisi tupate hii nguvu ya kuendelea kuspread the gospel, unaona. So I wouldn't say that msanii afai kukuwa na hiyo mentality that asipate do or something. It's good, money is good, and it's all okay. Ndio ina to keep, by the way, unaona, because the moment yenye utaimba ukose pesa and you see your friends are singing and they're getting money, utaanza kukas Mungu like, why me? Mbona mimi Mungu nakuimbia na mimi si grow and stuff, unaona. So money is still good, but it's also good. Unajua ni kama education tunapitia watu, okay, kuna watu wanapitianga like because they want to gain knowledge ndio waende wafanye business or something else. Kuna watu wako shule purposely what they're pursuing ndio waende, that is what their line of work, unaona. It's still the same for us as gospel ministers. We want to pass the message of God. We want to tell people about God, but still pesa ni mzuri. Pesa ni mzuri.
Lastly, very quickly, Kenny, what next for you as an artist? What should your fans expect?
For me, they should expect more music. I think for me it's more of music that tries to spread love, the love of God to people, the love for humanity. You know, Nambonga, service to humanity is like service to God. Yeah, so they should expect more of it, and yeah, and I hope to grow and move ahead PSCC to maybe people of influence or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
More music from you is what they really need to be expecting.
Exactly.
Well said, and a good place to end this conversation.
Sure.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
I have been speaking to Kenny M, an artist, a gospel artist, so to speak, obviously just talking to us about his music and his journey. And that puts a cap on what we had in store for you this Thursday morning on Matters Entertainment Thursday. I'm Doreen Arange Okem.